you are in a space where, okay, cool. Now, like, you actually are making meaningful changes. When you're doing prayers and things of that nature in a group, you are in a space where you are making meaningful changes. So now I'm trying to make some meaningful, I'm trying to make some meaningful changes. Trying to get some things going, things flowing so that we can have a beautiful day. So Alafia, Ikaro, good morning, good day. It is good to see everybody. I was going to let that young man come in, but I can't remember. So without further ado, we're just going to get this party started. And even though I did Ayla, I'm going to invoke Ayla for the collective and bring that energy into the space. So Ela mosi, ela mo yigi otami. Awadio yigi akiokua. Ela ro akiokumo kurubiti. Elaro shokro kifa intiti nikpanila no washebo ela fumi kotina kotoro binio ela nila nikpeo bamula ela omosi moario ela meji moario ela moimboru ela moimboye ela moimbo shishe ela poke I esi so asoro odun ko asodu Iroko, Oduno Nisiko, Ela Poke, Ela ro Kuajubore, Ela Takunwao, Ela ro Iti Irere, Ela Takunko Wajubore, Inu Irere, Ela Takunko Wajubore, Oju Irere, Ela Takunko Wajubore, Ela Mada Awo Ajiwaru, Ela Mada Eji Ajiwaru, Ashi. Spirit of manifestation, child of the ruler, spirit of manifestation, child of the offspring of the stone and the water, we ourselves become manifestation. The stone that birthed the spirit of manifestation will never die. The spirit of manifestation has descended to earth and we die no more. This is the name we give to our destiny. He is the one who made sacrifice so that the spirit of manifestation, he is of no from all trouble. The chief for whom to know is to be saved. The spirit of manifestation, we come and we praise you. Spirit of manifestation that opens the way. Spirit of manifestation that brings life. Spirit of manifestation that brings the sacrifice that precedes work. Spirit of manifestation has appeared. The friend has returned. Iroko Oko tree. The celebration has returned. The spirit of manifestation has returned. Holy Spirit, please descend. Holy Spirit, descend and prayers to accept. Holy Spirit with string descend. Holy Spirit with string descend. Be the ears of our prayers. Holy Spirit with string descend to accept our prayers. Hear the lips of our prayers. Holy Spirit with string descend to accept our prayers. Hear the eyes of our prayers. Holy Spirit with string descend to accept our prayers. Holy Spirit with lips of blessing, embrace us. Mighty Spirit with lips of blessing, embrace us. Ashe. Ela is, Holy Spirit is a loose translation, but it is the sound when everything began is Ela. The breath we take before we do our orikis and incantations is Ela. Ela is the literal spirit of manifestation. Ela is the literal spirit of that energy. Ela is the highest form of Orumila. So when we take our breath, when we call in what we need to, when we're trying to create and cultivate and co-create change, we invoke Ela first because Ela is the literal spirit of the energy of manifestation. It is creation in our voice. It is creation in our words. It is creation in sound. So we give gratitude to Ela every day for descending and allowing us to co-create with ourselves, co-create with the Most High. Eshui seri, ganga de lojoni, mofi kumi rosurunleo. Hold on, y'all. Dad's call. Hello? Daddy?
Yes.
Hey. I'm going to do everything I possibly can in this moment. Abo shishiagbo ato in this moment to not cry. But I gotta testify, is what they say. Isn't that what they say in the church? They gotta testify, they got a testimony. I am a perpetual student of myself. I am a perpetual student of myself, and having a spiritual practice. I'm gonna get back in the veneration, but I think this is important. Having a spiritual practice that is rooted in self-love. I am an Ianifa, which means I do not practice a diasporic tradition, because most of the diasporic traditions have been married into Abrahamic religions that don't allow women in positions of power. So I am not in a diasporic tradition. I practice Isheshe, and it is here in a Black America lens that I practice Isheshe. Alafia, daughter. And when I look at the way that Isheshe, Abo Ato Oshuri Iwori Wofu, how Isheshe, when you understand what Isheshe is, and understand it is Olodumare Ori. It is Olodumare Ori in that order. In that order. And doing the work of self will put you in positions where it'll put you in positions where you have to be able to see when you're being triggered. And you're not asked to be perfect. The Itans, and I say Itans and not Patakis because the Itans are the complete story from who went and consulted Ifa, who had to give the Ebo, did they give the Ebo? Because that is the lens through which you understand the rest of the story. If you only get the story without that other information, you're not getting the full image, and thus you're missing part of the message. But I keep doing the work, but I don't get asked to be perfect. And so every once in a while, I'm an Aquarius. Old, hiding your feelings, hiding what's going on, things begin to happen. The other morning, I was reminded that owls, there's a whole verse in the Odu. There's an Odu where one of these verses talks about the owls before they descended from heaven to earth. And they were asked would they be wealthy and prosperous and things of that nature. And when they were told to give their Ebo before leaving heaven to come to earth, they did not give their Ebo, which is why you don't see owls with a lot of money. And so what I have been conjuring for myself is that I have been actively saying, I gave the Ebo. I know the other owls that preceded me did not give their Ebo. I gave my Ebo. But that I also know that for me personally, on my own journey, all my Odus say, I'm going to get it bit. It's not necessarily going to be the wind there and I'm bawling out of control. That's not what that's going to look like for me. So when I stopped working at the stable, like when you work for a company and things of that nature, that is your stability. You got your benefits and all those good things. You have stability. So when I lost that, when I was laid off from that a couple of years ago, that stability was gone. That sure footing was gone. And it was at a time where I got laid off a year after I got divorced. So now I'm a single mother with 2 children who are neurospicy and differently abled and all of these things. No, I do not get CS, and I don't receive that. Then things were going on with my parents and things of that nature. So all these things that kind of kept me grounded, kept me stable, kept me sure-footed, kept me feeling like my feet were planted and I was good on knowing where I was going to go, were gone. They were all gone. And so then what is the thing that's supposed to keep me stable? What is the thing that's going to keep me grounded so that I do not lose focus? And it's Ifa. It is Ifa. It is my Ori. It is my spiritual practice that keeps coming forward as the thing that, though spirit is here and up and divine, it is also the thing that is going to help bring me peace. It is the thing that's going to help keep me grounded. But being in Nifa and teaching is not the thing that's going to keep me wealthy alone. Orumila always had multiple streams of income. Orumila always had multiple streams of income, whether it was divination, having a so you got divination, him having apprentices, him being consulting the king, him working in a market, him having a farm. If you pay attention and you start learning, do you realize Oromila had multiple streams of income, multiple avenues for which things were coming in. The other thing Oromila had were dedicated clients, apprentices, students that gave him gifts. They gave him gifts. They blessed him with gifts. This is how Oromila stayed wealthy. It wasn't simply like divining. It wasn't simply that. It wasn't teaching alone. It was him using all of his gifts and his talents and things of that nature. And I am, of the many Orisha for which I have received, I am a Obatala. And I could get tunnel vision. I could get tunnel vision. Plus, I'm an, Aquarius. The things. And so as of late, what I have been getting, the last Itadogun, we just had Itadogun yesterday, but the previous Itadogun Odu we got was to not reject advice, a good idea, an opportunity that doesn't seem like it's a good idea. And so I've been taking that advice and like putting out new things. So now I have a new service that I'm offering to small business owners that are Ifa practitioners, so that I can walk them through setting up their business using the wisdom of Ifa, astrology, and numerology to make sure that it is most aligned. So I have a soul aligned business coaching opportunity that I'm offering. And then I will be offering website design. And I'm like, should I do website design? But if you go to my site, it's pretty. Like my site look good. And I regularly go in there. It's time for me to do it again, but I haven't had the time to sit and do my own site because I've been doing other things. But if I was like, I need you to spread out what you do. I need you to create a work-life balance. But when Hurricane Helene hit, it just seemed like, whoosh, I'm about to wash all this stuff away. There's a lot of things that got washed away. And the steady income that I had as a single mother, anything that was that income, losing any of it is like, oh, no, we can't do that. Even $100 is a big deal when you have a child who has an automatic rejection to food and 90% of what he wants to eat is outside the house. October, November, December, behind. And so I try to do what anybody else do. I'm gonna try to get a loan, But you know what I wasn't doing? I was not asking family because I did not want to be a burden. I didn't want to be a burden. My dad had been in the hospital and I just could not go to them because my perception was I can't go to you. Like you've got everything else going on. I can't put that on you. But I've been giving my EBO, I've been giving my offerings to say, hey, I need this money, and thinking it's going to come in this particular way. And this morning, yesterday during Itadogun, I always have the pleasure of not only casting for myself, but I have a very dear human in my life, and I get to sit with him when he casts for his temple. And I always look at how those two messages overlap since we are a community. We have our own temples, but that we're also in community together. And the Odu they got was the very first Odu my godmother ever cast for me. The first time I ever got divination from my godmother, the Odu was Okandarandirete. And my godmother says to me, the first words, she drops the Odu, she says, okay, you have Okana Irete. And she says, you are already living Ifa. You are already walking in your Iwapele. I understood. I had been studying. I understood what that meant. I wasn't in the tradition, but I was reading, I was studying. I understood how significant it was for my godmother to say to me, you are already living Ifa. You are already walking in your Iwapele. She said, you are currently doing the right things at the right time with the right people. And so then yesterday, I asked my Ori recently, I said, is this still in alignment for me, Ori? Is this still work? Does it still matter what I'm doing? I got Ijefe. For those of you who don't know OB divination, things of that nature, Ijefe is a clear imbalance, yes, that indicates a spiritual understanding of the inquiry. It wasn't just simply a yes, this was what you get it. You are doing what you're supposed to be doing. You just need to fine tune some things and move some things out the way so that you can get what you want. The money is there, the money is in circulation. We are not going to let you lose your home. We're not going to let your children lose their home. We're not going to let you lose your car. So I said, okay. So I'm like, I've been giving my EPO and I've been praying, and my anxiety has been here. And I wasn't letting myself feel it. And my body was like, you have to relax. Even the Odu that my temple got said, you're too serious. You need to make time for play to bring yourself back to balance. And so I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Ifa. And so one of the things my godmother used to say, and I give gratitude, you invoke Ela with a question on your heart, Ela will give you the answer. Ela is a spirit of manifestation. Ela said, if Ela is manifestation itself, if you have a question on your heart and you invoke Ela, Ela will give you the answer, because Ela is the highest form of Urumila. You will get your answer. So I'm sitting here, I'm getting ready to do my Oshe, I'm getting ready to do veneration, and this is before I went live. And I said, okay, I sat and I invoked Ela and I sat quietly. And then I emailed my dad and said, let him know that I applied for a loan, that what was going on, and I applied for a loan, but I needed a co-signer. So the reason why I had an interruption is because it was him calling me. So I answered the call. Ifa, the oracle, never lies. Like, what am I going to do? But I also feel like I can't give up. I can't give up. That manifestation, yesterday I consulted Ifa. I gave Ebo, I had to get one of my godchildren, like Orumila, have one of my godchildren give that Ebo for me, because I deserve to be blessed. I had to put myself in a position to allow myself to be blessed by somebody else. I have spent a long time divining for myself, because that is the position I have been in. The door for the Awo only swings one way. Hello, sunshine. And being in a position where I needed, but I was not allowing myself to receive. I needed, but I'm giving. Those of you who come to O'Shea often, I am like calling these blessings forward for everybody and praying hard for everybody, so everybody can get there, so everybody can have their good condition. And I have not been allowing that to happen for myself. Have not been allowing that to happen for myself. And this yesterday, when I finished Ita Dogun casting, I cast for myself, and Baba Shango came through so big and strong and said, you're transforming, you're changing, you are moving in a way that is causing change, and it's not going to be just internal, it's going to be external. There are going to be changes, you're going to see them. And that phone call When I sing the Ogun, Ogun gets song. Ojosi gets chant. When I sing the Ogun, because Ogun has been real close. Ogun is like, get out your way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. My Odu for my Ogun shrine, because I haven't crowned Ogun yet, but I do have an Ogun shrine. The Odu for my Ogun shrine is Ogbe Iwori, Ogbe Wehin. And Ogbe Wehin has a story about Yana. And Yana has been working at this particular job for a while, but Yana is still in poverty. Yana is still in debt. Yana is like, okay, am I even doing the right thing? Am I even doing the right thing right now? This is why when you get your Odu, especially your personal Odus, it's good to not only just learn them, but go back to them. Go back to other Odus. If I had not recalled and remembered, so those of you who don't like divine, but you go get divination, please write your divination down. Because had I not written down my first ever divination with my godmother, I would not have remembered Otunla Irete was that Odu. So my Ogun gift comes through with Ogbe Iwori. Open roads leads to a transformation. That's open roads leads to transformation. And the story of Yana is Yana struggling with whether or not they're doing the right thing because they don't see the financial effect of it. They're not seeing the change financially. Money's coming in, but it's not life-changing money. They're still They're still in a space of struggle. And like, am I even doing the right thing? And Ifa says, yes, you're doing the right thing, but you need to expand your farm. You need to actually go bigger. You're doing the right thing, but you need to go bigger. And initially, what I thought that was is, okay, do I need to, initially what it was is I needed to open myself up to more godchildren. That I had right. I didn't need to open myself up, but I needed to open myself to more different kind of clients in general. I needed to expand my portfolio. And it's like, you're not using every gift you have. You have a mother who spent years doing website design and you sitting there watching her. That's why you were able to build your site from scratch by yourself. Help somebody do that, especially considering you used Ifa, numerology, and astrology to do it. Teach somebody else how to do that. Or do it for them. Build the site for them. You used astrology, numerology, and Ifa to come up with your business name, your mentorship program name. Teach someone else how to do that. All them little beautiful graphics, and people can't seem to figure out what kind of prompt to use for their AI. Teach them how to do that. Because your prompts are always prompting. The prompts are always giving what they need to give. Teach them how to do that. You are lekes. Everybody can put some beads together, but the energy off the lekes ain't always going to be the same. You can go to the culture shops and things and just put, grab you some lekes and it's cool. Or you can have somebody bless and bespoke them for them. You need to expand your farm. You need to expand what you do and put out everything. So I've been working on content so that I can put out everything. Naming ceremony. Like, why aren't you not talking about you do baby namings? You do naming ceremonies for babies. Put that out there. So Ifa has been working on me. You know how they say God's still working on me? Ifa and my Ori have been working on me. And today, this morning, that phone call said, your Ebo has been received. Your prayers have been heard. Here's a miracle you didn't expect to happen. Because the way I was going to get it done, I was going to impact my credit and and what if things fell apart, yada, yada, yada. Whereas this way, the way that I'm going to receive what I asked for, the way I'm going to receive what I asked for, but that doesn't mean I'll stop praying. No, I got to keep going. I got to keep this movement. I got to keep the momentum going. So I wanted to share that this morning because there was no way I could allow that good fortune to come through the way that it did and not give gratitude and not say thank you. So we're gonna get back into this. Get back into it, just like he called. And it's crazy because the phone rang just as I was beginning to invoke Eshu. One time for Eshu Odada, the divine messenger of transformation, because it's literally as you got a phone ring, just like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we're gonna get back to Eshu, and we're gonna get back to Ogun and Ochosi. And I'll probably, because it's only Ogun and Ochosi, um, the cowrie shells, um, you could, like, if you go to Etsy, they sell them by the bag. If you go to Etsy, they sell them by the bag. And I always cleanse and, always cleanse mine and stuff before I put them in my hair. And actually, I'm about to do something a little like, let's just say I got an idea to, when I do my next, no, probably before I do my retwist, but when I put some more shells in my hair, is to bless them with some orikis before I put them in my hair. Let's go ahead and walk around with that good, like, yeah. Because I cleansed them anyway, but now I'm like, oh, what if I not just cleanse them? Let me just go ahead and razzle, give them a little razzle dazzle. Like you do Reiki, you do energy work. Go ahead and like ratchet that up. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so let's get back into these prayers. Get these offerings. Let's get these prayers and offerings. Get these blessings on blessings coming in. All right. Where do we leave off? Eshu. Eshu. Eshu Odara, Eshu Lanu Grioko, Okunyorita Jolanga Langa Lalu, Aren Lanja Lalu, O de Ibija de Mole, Ija Neotroba Delife, Tofide Amon, Oroeshu Toto Tokoni, Elfira Relale. Meshu Mashemyo. Eshu Mashemyo. Eshu Mashemyo. Oh, mami la Nicolushe. Ba those who be dying, no, I don't they see what I should. Eshu Odada. I come to you today as your daughter. I come to you today as your daughter, saying, thank you, Baba. I come to you today as a proud priestess of Eshu and say thank you. Thank you for helping me in opening the doors to my good fortune. Thank you for helping me to open the doors to my ire. Thank you for helping me to open the doors to my blessing. Eshu. Thank you for opening the ways for all of us so that prayers are not only heard, but they are received in Orun, and so that blessings are approved. Eshu Odada, divine messenger of transformation, thank you for ensuring that not only do we have good communication between us and the divine, but we forget sometimes, Eshu, that you help us communicate with each other here in Aye. You help us to communicate in each other. You help us to use our words so that we can call forth what it is we want, need, and desire. Eshu. Thank you for closing the doors to negativity. Thank you for locking those doors to loss. Thank you for keeping away the ajogun. Eshu Odada. Modupo. Thank you for ensuring that we are not confused, that confusion does not find its way here, that it is our enemies that are confused. Thank you for keeping our enemies lost in the wilderness, Eshu. Modupo, Baba. Ashe. Opie ni funolorun, iba olutumare, oba chiki monjiloni, moboku merinaye, iba ila orun, iba orun, iba riwa, iba gusu, iba oba ikpaye, iba orun oke, Iba baba iba ye iba ikungun kiki ikungun. Ibori ibori no. Iba ipadmi tiolorun ashe. Ashe. Ashe ashe ashe. Ori sanmi. Ori sanmi. Ori sanikete, ori sanikete, orio tansanmiki miolo, orio tansanmiki embemolemio, orio tansanmiki iniaya, orio tansanmiki incolemole, ori sanmio, ori sanmio, oloma ajiki iwani mope ashe. Ibo ori yeye, Ibo ori yeye, Ibo ori yeye, Ibo ori baba. Ibo ori baba, Ibo ori baba. Iba ori, awo fale yewa. Iba ori, ia felo yemi. Iba ori, ifa jana teju ajala. Iba ori, inen tekbe ala kisa. Iba ori agbe fiere bale agbe yawo. Iba ori Gabriel Alexander. Iba ori Christopher Haynes. Iba ori to the collective ori of all of my omos of Temple Egbe ori egun ofu ashe, past, present, and yet to be. Iba ori to all of the beautiful souls that come in Oshe and veneration and get the wisdom and medicine of Ifa with me. Ashe. Igungun kiki gungun, iguri kuranran pawo ko pui pui. O baso la pum lawo, iguni kubata baungunde. Biaba para torina laguna sade ashi. Y'all, you blessed your descendant to bless your descendant. You blessed your descendant so that your descendant could bless your other descendant. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you. It is profoundly appreciated. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for the ancestors through the line of my mother, for which I lived for a time. I'm grateful to the ancestors through the line of my father, the last time I was here. I'm grateful to my son, Gabriel Alexander. I'm grateful to the ancestors of my children that walk with not just them, but walk with me. I'm grateful to the ancestors of Ifejana Tetuajana who also choose to walk with me. I'm grateful to the ancestors of my Omos who look out for their Ia. I'm grateful to the ancestors of the land in which I live who are apparently protecting my house. I'm grateful to the ancestors who are non-biological, who are friends, teachers, co-workers. I'm grateful to the ancestors of all of those that come to me for the wisdom and medicine of Ifa, because I recognize if their Ori and their Egun had not given the green light, that they would not come. And for that, I am grateful. Ashe. All right. Iba Ogun nawo. Onili kangu kangwaru. Basan, bapon, eolanato, biobi bapo neolanato, brogbo bapo neolanato, beye bapo neolanato, bien bapo neolanato, dafun ogun awo, nijo ti mana latiote, orunwa siya salueye, funirieda ashe. Hmm. Mm. Alafia Ogun. Aburo boy abu shishe. Mm, mm. Ogun, I come to you today on this Oshe Otunla, this day of veneration for you, to say thank you, Papa. Thank you, Papa Ogun. You who have walked with the ancestors through the line of my mother, you who have been forward for me ever since I discovered the Orisha, you have been prominent. You have been one that I easily resonated with. This socially awkward intellectual who has innovative ideas that not everybody understands, but opens the way of change for everyone. I am grateful to you, Ogun, for the gentle hand in which you use to firmly guide me to my greatness. I am grateful to you for opening the ways so that E-Ray can flow easily into my life. I am grateful for the technology that allows for me to have godchildren that don't live anywhere near me, that allows for me to connect, to commune with others, to share my love, my genuine love of this tradition, my genuine love of my spiritual practice. Thank you, Ogun. Thank you also, Ogun, for ensuring that my internet is mostly steady, even though Mercury is retrograding. My internet has been really steady, Ogun, and I give gratitude for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ogun, on this day, this Oshe Otula, this day of veneration for you, Ogun. Yes, yes, yes. Ogun, will you accept my Obi on this day? Not Obi. What do you need? Let's see. Got Obi. Ogun, is it OT? It's not OT. I ain't got no Oko. Ogun, is it Epopupa? Okay. It's palm oil, which I gotta melt. Okay. Ogun, is it Epopupa and Atari? It's not Atari. Ogun, is it Epopupa and me putting in work today on my business? It's not that. Okay. It's not work. It's an item. Okay. Ogun, is it Epopupa and salt? Okay. Oh, Ogun's working. Ogun, is it Epopupa, salt, and honey? Not honey. Abo, shishe, abo, ato, ashuri, iwori, wohu. Alafia. Igaro. It is the morning, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the morning. Ogun, is it Epopupa, salt, and omi? Okay. All right, hold on, because it's been cold in the house. Let me go melt. Let me melt some things because it's been cold in the house. Good morning. Hold on, y'all. And you know what? We got right here. Come on. Come on, darling. Put you close to me. Put you close to me. Do this without knocking anything over. All right. Oh no. Okay, hold on. I gotta melt some palm oil. Every day. Oh, oh, that's way smoother than I expected it to be. Okay. Way smoother than I expected it to be. It's warmer in here. Yeah. Salt, water, water. Oh, I can use this water. I can use this water. That's fine. It's already been blessed. Okay. Okay. Let me move my dress because I know me. I'll get palm oil all over myself. Yep. And if anybody's got the secret of getting apple pupa out of your whites, please share that secret. Share the secret. What's the secret sauce to get the apple pupa out of whites? Because I'm tired of buying new clothes. Okay. All right. No shows being putting on. All righty. So I got salt. Okay. Ogun, I have for you. Yeah. Ogun, I have for you apple pupa. I give this apple pupa to you on behalf of myself, on behalf of my children, on behalf of my family and loved ones. I give this to you. We're going to give this apple pupa to you on behalf of Ifajana and his family and his lineage. We're going to give this apple pupa to you on behalf of all of my omos and all of those that come to me for the wisdom and the medicine of Ifa. Ogun, please use this apple pupa to smooth out our roads. Please use this apple pupa to smooth our roads out on this day. Smooth out our path where the obstacles may be removed, but there might still be potholes. So smooth our roads out today. Ogun, please use this apple pupa to ensure that our blessings are enhanced. The way that you add apple pupa to stew to enhance its flavor, allow our life to be enhanced, Ogun. Please use this apple pupa to ensure that our E-ray is enhanced, that our ability to move forward is enhanced. Our ability to remove our obstacles is enhanced. That swing of that machete, Ogun, the swing of the machete, when we are swinging it, knowing that we have your full backing, our swing is smooth. Thank you for smoothing things out for us. Multiple ashi. Oh, apple pupa for you. Okay. Yep. What's your flavor? What's your flavor? What's your flavor? Hey, Waffle Crusher. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Hey, can you inbox me that question? Thanks. Me and my, yeah. Thank you. You're welcome, darling. Thanks for pulling up. Always good to see you. And this weekend, just on Saturday, I have plans with Shango on Saturday. Just to easily answer that. I have plans with Shango on Saturday. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, I have for you salt. I give this salt to you on behalf of myself, my children, my almost, my family and loved ones, On behalf of Ivajana and his family, his lineage, I give this salt to you. I give this salt to you on behalf of all of those who come to me for the wisdom and medicine of Ifa. Please use this salt to bring purity into our lives. Here in the diaspora, we use salt for purification. So we bring us purity, purify that which does not serve us. Ogun, please use this salt to bring enhancement. That brings enhancement into our life. We add salt to the tune of our ancestors to enhance the flavor of our foods. Allow our life to be enhanced, Ogun. Please use salt to bring us abundance. Salt is abundant. There is no lacking of salt in this world. Salt is abundant. Please use this salt to bring us abundance. Multiple, Ashe. Only a little bit. Waffle crusher. If you go to my profile, you should see when you click on the link, it should also take you to the link. A link to my IG. Send me a picture of it. It should be, but send me a picture of it. Because if you be asking, I might need to look at it. So send me a picture of it, and I'll take a look at it for you. If it makes me feel good, then it's probably straight. If I read it, I'm like, that's nice. It's nice. It's nice. And look, Saturday, you should come join us Saturday evening. We're gonna be hanging out with Baba Shango on Saturday. This is a sign. That was your sign. The sign was you should go ahead and send your email so you can get on the calendar invite so that you can hang out with Shango and us on Saturday evening. That's what you got the card. You got it for that. You got the card to prompt you to ask the question so that you can come. That's what that was for. That was your invitation to come hang out with us at Shango on Saturday. There you go. You're welcome. Go ahead and inbox the email. I'll get you on the list. Okay, so Ogun, I have for you Omi. Please use this Omi to things that are in our life that are too hot, that need to be cooled down, situations that need to be cooled down. Cool those things down for us. Cool down our anxiety, cool down stress, cool down frustrations and exasperations. Especially since Mars just stationed retrograde, cool things down for us. Cool things down that are tense. When we use this Omi to ensure that we see abundance, the waters of the earth are abundance. Allow us to see abundance in our life, Ogun. Ogun, please use this Omi to ensure that we always have a good path. Today is the day of the pathfinders. Please use this Omi to ensure that we have a good path. You do not pour water on the ground and it stays put. It carves its own path. It carves its own way. Show us, Ogun, how to carve our own path in this world to our goodness, our own path to our good condition, our own path to our Iwa Pele, our own path to our Ide Bobo. I give this Omi to you on behalf of myself, on behalf of my children, on behalf of my family and loved ones. I give this Omi to you on behalf of Ifajana and his family, his loved ones. I give this Omi to you on behalf of my godchildren, my almost, all of them, past, present, and yet to be. And I give this Omi to you for all of those who come to me for the wisdom and the medicine of Ifa. Multiple Ashi. Lord, you. Don't hit the laptop. Ashe. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Baba shini lorio puelanta. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Yeah, shini lorio puelanta. Ashe. Okay, let's go to the currently I'm not wearing red and white. I have on coral. Today I have on coral. It just looks red on camera, but no, I'm wearing coral. I only wear red when I have permission to do so. So I have permission to wear some tomorrow, but it won't be a lot. I can't wear a lot of red. I'm not loud. I'm not loud. I can't do that. But tomorrow I will. So tomorrow's Oshe Irini, or some people say Oshe Shango or Oshe Jakuta, but it is a day of veneration for Shango. In the diaspora traditions, Shango has a feast day that was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, on the 3rd, would have been Shango's feast day for the diaspora traditions. Though I do not practice a diaspora tradition, I live in the diaspora. So I asked Baba Shango if he wanted a feast day from my lineage. And when would I do that? I don't mind you asking. So I asked him whether or not he would like a feast day from us and what day would be best. So we picked the 7th, and so that is when we're told tomorrow is his Oshe. So we do Oshe with Shango tomorrow anyway. So we're gonna do the feast day on his Oshe day. So that's what we're gonna do. In terms of, do I always have to ask permission? Yes, I always have to ask permission. You don't have to always ask permission. Notice how I said that. I always have to ask permission. And that is because if I wear red, it invokes a specific kind of energy. So it's actually taboo for me to wear it. I'm not allowed to wear red. I'm not allowed to have it on my skin. So if I wear red, I got permission. Like there was a permission. He's like, no, I want you to wear my colors today. So then I'll have some red on. But even tomorrow, I won't have red directly on my skin like that. I just have something red and white that I'll put on. And it always has to be a balance. It can't be too much red. That's why I don't buy Shango candles, because they're never a balanced red and white. They look like they should be, but when you look at it, it's never balanced. And for me, it has to be balanced. So I will always, if I'm going to light candles from him, it's one white and one red. And that way I know that it's balanced. Big cats, things with horns, and big cats. Like the animal with the horns is leaving me, but horns, but big cats, like leopards, most specifically. Leopards, most specifically. Thank you. Because like that word was not that wasn't coming. But big cats, big beeples. So leopards is most notably related to him. Why, you seen something? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know why you're tripping. I don't know why my inbox ain't popped up and said you sent an email to say like, okay, you should probably be there. I don't know why you bugging. You just need to come. You just come. It's free. You just need to come. All right. Okay. So back to, that's a big cat, and that's a big cat, and a lion would definitely a suitable one. Yeah. All right. So Josie, I think today I had to do this today so that y'all could see a priest or priestess, or rather high priestess of in the tradition, who had orishas that are not commonly spoken about. So I haven't received Ogun yet, but I am, But I have Ojosi, and you don't see a lot of, especially not priestesses. You don't see a lot of Ianifa who talk about being a priest of Ojosi. So yeah. So shouts out to all the other Omo Ojosi that are out there on this day in venerating Ojosi, the left-handed magician, the owner of the riverbank, the skillful hunter, the one who is the hunter and never the hunted. Well, supreme rising to you as well. All right. Iba Ojosi. Ojosi o de mata, o de ata mata she, oni baby ajuba, o soli keri, asala kogbo gu, o didi mato de, o didi kan fiti ja, o de ata mata she, abani ni jo to buro, oni o didi kan fiti ja uba ashe. Ojosi, come to you today. Whew. First is always to say thank you. Ochosi, thank you for reminders to see from a higher perspective. Ochosi, thank you for reminders to not get lost in the weeds, but to go high so I can truly see the path ahead of me. Ochosi, thank you for reminders that we are hunters and we are never the hunted. Thank you, Ochosi, for ensuring that I am never lost, that I am always able to see which way I need to go, Ochosi. Ochosi, thank you for reminders that the path is always there and I am always on target. Ochosi, on this day, this Oshé, this day of veneration for you. Ochosi. We accept my Obi today. Let me see. It's Obi. Okay. It's Obi. Hey, let me see something. Chelsea, are you finished with the apple that is currently there? Okay, cool. I about to say, oh, y'all got to go. Sorry. Everybody out. 1 second. And then I'll take all this stuff outside. I got some from yesterday I need to take out. Making room for new. Making room for new. I really did pick the biggest rocks I could find, didn't I? Oh, Chelsea. Okay. Okay. All right. Now we can do some food. One. Yay! Oh, that's a big one. That's a good size one. It's a good size Opie. I gotta go back to the stove. See if she got some more. All right. Oh, Chelsea, I have for you Obi. I give this Obi to you on behalf of myself, on behalf of my children, on behalf of my family, on behalf of my loved ones. Oh, Chelsea, I give this Obi to you on behalf of Ifajana and his family and his lineage. Oh, Chelsea, I give this Obi to you on behalf of my almost all of them, as well as all of those who come to hear the wisdom and the medicine of Ifa today. Oh, Chelsea, please use this Obi to push away from us negativity, push away from us loss, push away from us debt, push away from us poverty, push away from us sickness, push away from us disease, push away from us ailments, push away from us death, push away from us litigation, push away from us slander, push away from us gossip, push away from us exasperation, push away from us frustration, push away from us depression, push away from us unease, push away from us anxiety, push away from us all forms of negativity and Ajogun Ochosi. Ochosi, please use this OB to push us into our path, push us into our golden brick road. Yeah, push us onto our golden brick road, Ochosi. Push us to the path of our Ide Boko. Push us to our good spouse. Push us to good children. Push us to good health. Push us towards financial freedom and independence, Ochosi. Push us toward our greatness, Ochosi. Push us towards us realizing we are enough. Push us towards realizing that we have all the tools. Push us towards realizing our greatness, Ochosi. Multiple ashi. Ochosi, this OB is for you. Y'all can't watch that. Hold on. Yeah. Mo wá dúpẹ́ tèmi, Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Mama shini lorio quelanta. Issue portrait. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Moa tu puede mi. Yay, shini lorio quelanta. Ashe. Offerings have been given. We are in good spirits, so let us call in some additional blessings. And then I got a few minutes. Let people, you can post some questions, any questions you have for me, but I'm going to do some additional blessings to get us through the day today. Ki bobo iniyan kara kiri agbaye. Barajo ki won't wait. Before I do that, because I was thinking this Oriki earlier and I didn't do it. I was thinking it earlier and I did not do it. Olodumare, Mojiloni, Mobogo Merinaye, Egon Guinea, Egon Keji, Egon Keta, Egon Grilo Jolie, Bobo Eba, Wanilie, Teatomo Tekpetoba, Wafiewa, Kiopona Hama, Wafini, Leni Shipini, Aleo. Afu you get me sick, be. Alajani and team for bully. Aniko Tiko Mechi, Mino Pomiopi, a Yippee Yaba Yapo Yapi, dum 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 dum. Aleo. Aleo. Ifawa botemi, Eshua botemi, Jekini emi, Kyola Samite Atomo Tibitiri, Londrin Paponile, Wajekimi, Kiyoemi, Ashe, Ashe. Olodumare. I give gratitude to the Creator, the Source, the Most High, for reminders of how close we are to God. Reminders that our Ori is a perpetual reminder that there is no separation between us and the Most High. Our Ori is a perpetual reminder that there is no separation between us and the Most High. I give gratitude for miracles and prayers made manifest in my physical reality. I give gratitude for reminders to not walk in fear. The most that can be said is no. Open your mouth. The most that can be said is no. And you move on and you choose something else to do. Thank you. Thank you for reminders that though my path does not look like somebody else's, it is still mine to walk. Though my journey does not look like somebody else's, it is still mine to go on. I'm grateful for my house. Like real talk, like I can't put into words how much gratitude I feel for my home. It's cold out there, and I know what it feels like to not have it. I know what that feels like. I'm grateful to have my home. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for clothes. I may wear the same outfit 3 or 4 times. I don't care. At least I got the clothes to put on. So I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that as frustrating as it is that sometimes my child only wants to eat chicken tenders every day, that I can feed him chicken tenders, that I can make sure that he eats. I'm grateful for I am unmarried. Say that. Well, if I play in my face, I am unmarried. However, I am grateful for having a Black man that rocks with me so hard, that is intelligent, that loves Ifa the way that I love Ifa, that is wise beyond their years, and has been in the tradition for so long that even with that, will say, you just taught me something. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for our friendship. I'm grateful for being able to nerd out together. I'm grateful that we can be in each other's community spaces and stand as who we are. I'm grateful for the journey of being an Ianifa. I'm grateful for every blessing that I have ever received in life. And today, the prayers, the invocations called forward are so that those blessings can continue. And yeah, so we can get a little more because we still on earth. We still need things. And I think if anything, reminders that the God in that book ain't you, or is at least not you, the representation of you that we get in our tradition. The teaching, like, well, money isn't everything. It is if you live on earth. If you got bills, it's not that it's everything. It isn't everything. But to act like you should not pray for money when you got rent to pay, when you have bills to pay, when you have children to feed, where you need clothes on your back is idiotic. The Most High don't want to see you homeless. The Most High does not want to see you impoverished. Ask for what you need. Notes to self. What do you need? What is it going to look like for you to have your good condition? Be honest. A lot of times we sit here and we're like, well, we just need to do that. Living in that way might be okay for someone else. Everyone has their own destiny. Do not compare their journey to yours. What is your destiny? Oludumare incarnated as all of us differently to have different experiences. That experience is over there. What is the blessing you need today? I'm not going to pray for my bills to be paid because this person's bills are not paid. No, honey, because you can't help them if your bills are not paid. So pray for your bills to be paid and ask for surplus. I want to be able to not only take care of my financial responsibilities, I want to have surplus. I want to be able to save. I want to be able to give to charities that resonate with my heart. That's what I want to be able to do. You can act, the creator of all existence, creator of this world, other worlds, space, this world, other worlds, space, time, dimensions, wormholes, black holes. The creator of all of that can't give you that. The creator of all of those things, all you want is your house and your land and your car. You think that's too much? You think it's too much for you to ask for financial independence? Black people, we don't have to struggle. We can really and it's going to be a fight because that is ingrained after years of like centuries of us being oppressed. It is ingrained. It's like a habit. It takes over 21 days to break a habit. That is a long habit that we have to break. We do not have to struggle. We don't have to struggle. And cricket, be outside my house. Thanks. Thank you for the sign. I don't want you in my house though. Just respectfully. You sound like you're outside, so we're gonna keep it Gucci. Get off the struggle bus. And that takes practice, me included. Every once in a while, I step out my limousine of ease, and every once in a while I hit that, I be on that struggle bus, and I'm like, dang, how did I get on here? But you have to recognize you have put yourself back on the struggle bus, and that's not where you want to be. You want to ride in the back seat of the limousine of ease, where it's got snacks and anime and Kool-Aid to drink. That's where you want to be, or whatever that looks like for you. It's okay to want to be off the struggle bus. It is okay for you to leave the struggle bus and walk down Easy Street. That's okay. No one said that. This, like, when you well, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldier. Are you in a uniform right now? You got on fatigues? I mean, unless you are a soldier, then But like you wear fatigues right now. That's what you got on. You got some dress blues on? No, no, no. Then why you want to live like a soldier? That is a limiting belief. That is where the reason why our ancestors consulted whatever oracle, whether it's Ifa or something else, so often because they understood those who stay ready don't have to get ready. Those who stay ready ain't got to get ready. This is why from the moment you enter the world, traditionally your parents would go and consult an oracle and say, hey, what did this little human that I have just brought into this world choose as their destiny? Because if they chose some BS, I need to help them. They ain't never been here before. So they might have chose, hey, I want to do that, and experience this thing. And like, no, you don't. Because you've been here. So you already know. Like, there's an easier way to do that. And so you go and you can go and you see your priest or your elders or however that looks, and you consult the oracle. It's like, hey, what foolishness did my child choose? What good fortune did my child choose? We're going to give Evo to lock in the good fortune and remove the foolishness. And then I'm going to learn how to parent this child so that they stay in their Iwapele, so they walk in their good condition, so that they are perpetually blessed. Our ancestors understood this. We, in the diaspora at least, especially in the African American diaspora, are relearning this. We're remembering this. Look. What they were talking about voting and realizing that for my mother, I was the first woman, the first female child born with the right to vote in my mother's family. My mother was not born with it. Like, that's crazy to me. That's just like putting it that way. My grandmother, her mother was a slave. Her mother was enslaved. There's still healing work we're trying to do. And then understanding from an Orisha tradition perspective that we, where other areas of the diaspora were able to kind of like click up and thus maintain a holistic version of their mother tradition. When it came to the States, it said, none of y'all staying together. We're mixing everybody up. But our ancestors, from whatever nations they hailed from, were resilient. And they said, look, we may not be able to birth Isheshe in its original form. We may not be able to birth Voodoo in its original form. We may not be able to birth Kali in its original form. We may not be able to birth Sangoma tradition in its original form. But what we can do is find where we all have things in common. We can bring all these commonalities together, and we're going to hang out with these indigenous folks here too. And we're going to see all these things we have in common together. And then once we merge all these things together, then they gave birth to Hoodoo. Hoodoo's grandmothers, Hoodoo's mother are Isheshe, Voodoo, Kali, Sangoma, indigenous practices. Those are the mothers of Hoodoo. Because they said, even if we can't give birth to American states in the U.S. version of our tradition, they are going to have something. They're going to have something. And then what we ends up happening is when we do receive Orisha tradition initially, because I bet you almost everyone that's watching now that's studying Orisha, things of that nature, first learned about it through Lukumi. We still didn't get Isheshe for a while. We got Isheshe later. So most even African Americans who have no connection to any type of Cuban or other Latino heritage or Catholicism anyway, they still had to find a way to Orisha, and that came through Lukumi. Isheshe is now like, when I first discovered Orisha, it was absolutely Lukumi that I discovered first. And initially, I had I still, up until my godmother said it, had no plans to initiate, but I wasn't going to initiate. I had no plans of initiation whatsoever. Lukumi is like the gateway, was like, here, I'm going to put this in front of you. That way you're resonating with Orisha. That's what we need from you. This is how like my Ori was working. It's like, I need you to find Orisha. So this is the most prominent one right now. So I'm going to help you find this. So we find Orisha. And then my Ori got to work. My Ori was like working with Ogun. It's like, hey, we need to fix her algorithm. I need her to see a couple of Isheshe practitioners. So that then she's now she don't know they're Isheshe, but she's going to be resonating with Isheshe. She needs to see a couple of Isheshe practitioners. So I saw this young lady, and I think her name was Oyabumi, and she did a video about Ori. And if you know, in the diaspora traditions, it's not that the Ori is not present, it's not talked about in the same way as Isheshe. And she talked a lot about Ori. And she is the one where, for those who have ever gotten the Ori prayers from me in English, her YouTube video. I sat there and watched that video, I don't know how many times, to write it down until I had the whole thing written down. And so she gave 2 prayers, and I started saying that. I started doing those 2 prayers. So even before I discovered my godmother, I was doing Ori work. Before I discovered my godmother, I was doing Ori work. Then I found my dear friend's mentor, Obafemi, Oloye Obafemi. And he does several really good videos on Ori. So my Ori understood that I needed to be in a tradition that centered Ori. Ori needed to be the prominent focal point for my practice, because that's what I needed, among other reasons. So started putting Ori content in front of me. And understanding that when we venerate Ori, it is not superseding Olodumare. We are, in fact, when you look at yourself in the mirror and say good morning, note that God's looking back at you. Ori is Olodumare's in you. Your Ori, the part of your Ori, your Ifan Ritio Wolarum, your higher self, that is part of your Ori complex. It's not separate, it is a part of your Ori complex. That shows you your body, the temple of your higher self. God chose his body. However big, small, and different it is, God chose the body. Said, I like this body. I want this body. This is the body I want to move about in my physical form in. Understanding all of these things from that perspective is why I say Isheshe is a religion that is self-love. It is a self-love religion. And that is the foundation, because when you have that, then you can have, then the other things build on top of it. Self-love is at the bottom, and the other things build on top of it. Then you get to that self-actualization, self-reliance, self-esteem. You got to start with the love first. The love is where everything grows from. And so I was grateful for that. And then my cousin, who happened to decide that both of us decided at 40 we should have a spiritual awakening, but she had discovered who would become my godmother, and was, just pointed me to the radio show and then gifted me that reading. And to get her, who is Black and Latino, but did not practice Lukumi. She's like, I practice traditional Ifa, I practice Isheshe. Okay. All right. And so that's how, but a lot of, and they're now understanding more of the differences. There is a reason why. So I'll always give, in terms of my Isheshe indicates primordial, what came before. I wasn't meant to initiate Lukumi. But when you see me make my beads and things, especially for Ifa, I pay homage to Lukumi. Because had Lukumi not made its way to the States, I may not have discovered Orisha when I did. It may have taken a lot longer for me to discover it. So that they were the way for me to discover Orisha. But the way I'm meant to honor and practice Ifa, the way I'm meant to commune with Orisha, needs to be through a more traditional lens, because I need that separation from the angry Abrahamic God of the Bible. I need that separation. Like if I wanted that, I just would stay being an Israelite if I wanted that, honestly. I don't want that. I want the relationship with Oludumare as the creator that walks as me. I need that relationship. I need a relationship where I can trust myself and trust my intuition and trust that when I make prayer, when you make prayer, your Ori Aleda, again, Ori, your Ori Aleda, that is the part of your Ori complex that is the potent source, that's the creator portion of your Ori, is who answers. When you make prayer, that's who answers. And that's why people's like, do I need a reading to know who on my spiritual cord is? No. If you have a relationship with your Ori already knows every aspect of your spiritual cord. Your Ori knows every part of your spiritual cord because your Ori is Olodumare. Your Ori chose your spiritual cord. Your Ori, and understand your spiritual cord is as big as the stars in the sky. Your spiritual cord is as vast as the stars in the sky. You probably will never know every divine energy that walks and supports you. And that's okay. Your Ori knows. That's okay. Your Ori knows. Your Ori knows every Orisha that's in and out. You embody all of them. When I say in and out, I don't mean they leave you. You like a walking embodiment of all the Orishas. But in and out in terms of who is at the forefront of helping you in your journey right now. Your Ori knows what angels are walking with you. Because yes, I got a gang of archangels walking with me. Your Ori knows what Loa, what ancestors, all of those things. You don't need everything and everyone when you have a relationship with your Ori. You will learn I'm in an Ifa divination, and one of the Etans speaks about someone not taking care of the god of their house. And I'm like, am I missing somebody? Am I missing somebody? It's Idiete Meji. You need to make sure you're taking care of the gods of your house. Who I'm not, who Ifa? So I'm like going through like, hey yo, is there an Orisha that I'm not, that I need to be propitiating that I'm not? No, it's not an Orisha. Oh, okay. Is it an ancestor? Is it a Loa? So then I sat for a minute. I stopped asking. And I sat and I listened. And this was shortly after, or shortly before Dia de los Muertos. And I knew that during that week I was going to be doing ancestor elevation work. And then I thought about my ancestors and who might have been connected to them. All of my ancestors. Understand that if you are in the diaspora, genetically speaking, from a DNA perspective, like I have two Black parents. From a DNA perspective in the United States, most Black Americans are about 70 something percent can trace their DNA back to the continent. I am 91% African. Genetically, I am 91%. Might as well have been born there. But I still got some European ancestors. I got European ancestors. So I sat there for a second and thought about which deity most stood forward from my European ancestral lineage. So I asked Ifa and was right. This particular deity from my Irish ancestors stood forward. I'm like, oh. So I have to, and I was doing some research and I have to get back to it, trying to learn how to propitiate her because she wants to support. That came up in an Odu. She wants to help me, but it wasn't just her. There is someone who, from a past life and then from my ancestors, was also being taken care of. This is a deified ancestor of the diaspora. That's what I'll call her. She's a deified ancestor of the diaspora. And Ifa's like, yeah, her too. It's like, is that it? Yeah. Okay. So now I have to learn about these two new energies, and they're not new. I have dreamt about one. I got a couple of oracle cards, and she keep coming like, hey, how are ya? So I know she's close, but I'm not directly what. So I don't have that immediate connection to where I can go to somebody. It's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, pop like, hey girl, hey. And I'm just like, oh, hey. The deified ancestor, the one that has been deified. I remember I do an exercise with my Ori from time to time where I let my Ori take me around town. I just let my Ori lead the way. I'm like, which way should I go? And like, it's a way for me to strengthen my intuition. So I let my Ori lead the way. And on this particular day, I ended up at this occult shop. And this was not like a culture shop. So this was like, an occult shop. So I walk in, and this particular ancestor, I didn't know their doll was at the front counter. But I walked around, and they have this particular room, and she's in there. But I didn't know it was her calling me. I just knew I needed to go to that room. So I go to that room, and I sit on the floor. And yes, I sat on the floor in the middle of their shop, and it was okay. I have sat in the floor in the middle of their shop and pulled cards. Like, don't judge me. So I sit on the floor in the middle of this shop, and I look around, and then I'm like, which one of y'all is calling me? Who's calling me in here? What of y'all? It's one of y'all. So just tell me who's calling me. And lo and behold, there she is. And I'm just like, no, really? And I'm just like, okay. And I don't take that lightly. Like, yes, it's cool, but I don't take it lightly when an energy makes its presence known. Like, hey, I just want you to know I'm rocking with you. I'm helping you out so you can reach out to me. I don't take that lightly. So I don't rush the process, because it did take me a minute with the Orishas. It took me a minute to get to where I would even, like, for a while, it was just like trying to understand their presence and why they were here. And then eventually, like, building up to just doing some general prayers in English, and learning now how many of the prayers that I managed to come across in English that I now have the Oriki for is really cool to me. Like, the way my Ori was just like working. When I say Charlotte be working overtime, trying to make alignments and connections, like Odus, Orikis, all these things, and not even realizing, like the Orisha tarot deck, that deck is Lukumi centered. It is a Lukumi centered deck, but I love that deck. Because the Patakis are portions of the stories from the Odu. In some cases, not all of them, but in some cases, those stories of Lukumi are part of Odu. So for the ones that are, I have been able to get the full Odu. So then, instead of this one small portion of the story, I got a full story now that I've been learning Odu. So then I can see a bigger picture of what that card means. Now what the card means, it's a little different because I actually have the full story. I know who consulted Ifa, what the Ebo was. Did they give the Ebo? And that is in turn what influences the story. When you pull the story out without that information, you're not getting a full picture. But when you add in this person consulted Ifa, they were supposed to give this Ebo. Even what they give as Ebo, when you start learning Ifa, when you start coming to the tradition, you understand that the Ebo is not just an Ebo. The message is in the Ebo itself. The message is in the Ebo. Everything from who did the divination, who asked for the divination, what the offering was given, all of these things influence what the message of the Odu is, what the message of the Itan is. The Odu itself will have an overarching message, But then all these little pieces, it's like when you're doing dream divination, all these little pieces mean something. All these parts mean something. So being able to see that helped on the journey. It helps build that relationship. So now I have to figure out what that's going to look like for these that are not Orisha. Orisha, I feel pretty comfortable with. When new Orisha shows up, I'm pretty comfortable with going ahead and like rocking and like, saying something. But if it's outside of that, I've had Lawa show up. Angels, I'm a little bit more, even though growing up as an Israelite, there was not a direct relationship to angels, but I had a close enough proximity to Christian folks to where angels were easy. I don't call them like that unless I feel like I absolutely need to, but I know they are perpetually present and more than one person has seen them around. So I don't have an issue with them. But anybody outside of that, it's like, yeah, I gotta do some study first because it's not that I don't have a relationship with the angry. Oh my God, so and so is gonna be mad at you. Like you have no idea how angry it makes me when I hear somebody say, "Oh, if you leave so and so, you leave Oshuna Orange, she gonna be mad at you." Y'all really need an angry God. Y'all do. When y'all do stuff like that, it just shows to me that colonization is still rampant and you still need an angry male God. You still do. You need that. That's what's going to help you. And I don't. I do not need an angry male God. What I need is creator. I need source. I need that embodiment of love and nurturing. And when you look at those things, it's like, yeah. It's like, well, it's so like I used to sit at my altar doing Oriki, and I would go to I would say ancestors. I'm 30-something% Nigerian. I still don't speak Yoruba. So don't be sitting around laughing at my broken Yoruba. Don't do it. Like don't laugh at your girl. I'm genuinely trying here. Genuinely trying. Don't laugh at my broken Yoruba. Because it don't have to be, oh my God, they're gonna be mad at me because I mispronounced this word. They know you're not Yoruba. They know that. To act like our deities of this tradition don't know anything is crazy work. They know we don't speak Yoruba. They know that you grew up like me. I'm in Georgia. This is technically the deep South. Though my parents have worked exceptionally hard to make sure I don't always sound like I'm from Georgia, the truth is I'm still from Georgia. I don't sound like I'm from Atlanta, but I'm still from Georgia. There's still going to be a difference between how I sound and how someone from Yoruba land sounds doing the exact same Oriki. They don't care. That is a human feeling. The language of Orisha is love. The language of Orisha, the language of Isheshe is love. That is the language. My godmother gave me an assignment to write an Oriki. So I wrote one to Shango because, Fa Omi Shango. So I wrote one to Shango. I can't listen to myself do that Oriki. And it's mostly in English. There are some parts where I threw some of his praise names in Yoruba, but the Oriki itself is mostly in English. I cannot listen to myself do that Oriki because I'm out of here. I'm out. Shut the deuces. I've left the building. I have left the building. This is Shango's house. I can't listen to myself. The language of Orisha is love. The language of Orisha is love. And when you understand that, the language of Ifa is love. I won't say who it was, but they're here, so they'll know I'm using this example. But during Itadogun, one of the Itans is about the dove and the pigeon. And so the dove and the pigeon wanted children. And they both consulted Ifa, and they were told to give Ebo. Only the pigeon gave the Ebo. Shortly thereafter, both the dove and the pigeon began to have children. And the dove is like, hey, yo, I didn't give my Ebo when I still got pregnant. And the pigeon's like, all right, then. Okay. So the dove goes and makes their home in the Igungun tree. And not long after that, a storm comes through and uproots the tree. All of the dove's children are taken in the storm. The pigeon was praising the owls. The owls were praising Ifa, and Ifa was praising God. The pigeon said, I was able to put my back against my pot. That was one of the Ebo materials. They had to put their back against the pot. And so one of I asked them, what they heard Ifa saying. And one of the responses was about, if you don't do your Ebo, that they'll take your blessing. And so I helped them to see that's actually not the case. No one's taking anything from you. Both the dove and the pigeon got pregnant. They both consulted Ifa to get pregnant. Both the dove and the pigeon get pregnant. This was a blessing. This was Ire already on its way to them. This was a blessing that was already en route. It's already on its way. They just don't know it. They don't know the blessings en route. They don't know that they're getting ready to get pregnant. All they know is they want some kids so they consult Ifa to get pregnant. And then they do. But they both do. So the Ebo couldn't possibly be just to get them pregnant, because otherwise the dove wouldn't have got pregnant. Both of them get pregnant. That means that was a blessing already on its way. Why did they need to give Ebo? Because you don't simply give Ebo to get the blessing. It's to lock it in. It's to lock that joint in there. Ebo is medicine. The translation into the West to sacrifice is the best possible correlation, but it's medicine. Ebo is medicine. Sometimes it is medicine that you need to take, like vitamins. You take your vitamins every day, hopefully. Should. Take your vitamins every day to fortify yourself. It's not because you're sick. You don't take vitamins because you're sick. You take vitamins to maintain your good health, to maintain your good condition. So sometimes your offering is so that you maintain what you got. To maintain what I have. I want to maintain this. I want to keep this going. So I want to maintain this. Oshe. So daily veneration, maintenance Ebo. This is maintenance. This is your vitamin. This is your spiritual vitamin. You're doing your spiritual vitamins. You're picking deposits in your spiritual bank account to fortify what you have. To fortify what you have. And also to make some withdrawals. Sometimes the medicine is because you need something. You need something. You need to have something. You need something to be brought to you. So let's say you're somebody that you're vitamin D deficient, like most melanated people here in the country is we're vitamin D deficient. We don't get enough sunshine. So then you have to take that so that it replenishes something that was not already there. So sometimes that's what the Ebo is doing. It's giving you something that's not there or replenishing something that you may have lost. And sometimes the Ebo is like, if I see something coming down the way, it's like, yeah, you're going to have kids, but shortly after you had them kids, there's this upheaval. There's this crisis situation coming down the way. The Ebo is preventative, like vaccinations are supposed to be, where you're supposed to get these so that it prevents you from getting sick. So this particular offering was to prevent a catastrophe from happening with the kids. It wasn't to get them pregnant. That blessing was coming. If I was like, give this Ebo, Abo ato ashuri iwori wo fun baba. Yay! Okay, my day is complete. I can go now. I can go. Giving that Ebo was going to protect the kids. Giving that Ebo was going to protect the children. No blessing was taken from the dove. The dove didn't protect the blessing that they got. The Ebo was to protect the blessing that was already going to be given to them. So understanding, bringing this to round to, no one's taking your good fortune. No one is the divinities, the divine energies, the energies of love and good. They're not trying to hurt you. This path you're on, you're walking down, do 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 do. If you lean this way, some good gonna happen. If you lean that way, some not so good gonna happen. The elbow is to help keep you in alignment to this side of the road, where something good's gonna happen. Because if you don't do that, whether it's elbow, bad character, you're gonna go into what was already coming. Whatever this was already coming. No one's trying to punish you. Ain't nobody pulling out no belt to whip you. Whatever this was already going to be here. Whatever this was already coming. You consult E5 and you get a heads up that this thing is already coming. But E5 says, I'm going to help mitigate it. You don't give your elbow, oh my God, I got punished for not doing my elbow. No, fool. It was already coming. It was already en route. It was already on its way. You didn't do what you needed to do to get the protection. You said, oh, I got it. I'm good. I'm good here. I got this. Do you? Why'd you consult E5 then? That was the other thing we talked about. Why go through the trouble of consulting E5, paying for a divination, paying for a reading, whatever the case may be? Because truth be told, if you come to me and get a tarot reading, I'm not going to prescribe an elbow, but I will tell you to give an offering to your ancestors in your Ori. That I most assuredly will do. Because there's always an energy exchange. If I tell you that there is a blessing coming, I'm going to tell you how to hold on to it. Because I can't turn off being a diviner. I just can't turn it off. I divine, period. There is always an energy exchange to hold on to the blessing, protect the blessing, whatever the case may be. If there's something bad coming, I'm going to tell you how to prevent that. There's always an energy exchange that needs to be given. It's always. That is the universe's way. That is the balance of masculine and feminine energy. Masculine, action, giving, feminine, receiving, taking. There is a give and take, an energy exchange. When the two are working in concert with each other, this is where you get creation and manifestation. When you break that, because the Odu we got was about balancing our masculine and feminine energy. When you break that and you're taking, and you're not giving, you are out of alignment. You are not walking in your Iwapele. And something is going to go awry. Not because somebody is punishing you, it's because you are walking wobbly. You walking, instead of walking like this, you are doing this. And eventually you gonna fall into some mess. Eventually you gonna fall into some mess. No one's punishing you. You fell into some mess that was already there. It was already there. You just weren't doing the things that you needed to do to make sure you didn't fall into some mess. That's it. No one's punishing you. Any hardships, nobody's punishing you. No one was punishing me. The stress, anxiety, and things that I had going on, I at no point said, oh my God, God's punished me. Oh my God, my Ori's punished me. I never felt that way because I understand there's something I missed, something didn't happen, something I did not do to ensure that this didn't happen. And that's okay. It happens. Once you realize you were in some mess, you know what the beautiful thing is? They're not going to turn their back on you. Consult T5. I'm like, how do I fix this? How do I right this ship? How do I get this back together? There are plenty of stories where so-and-so consulted E5. The one, God, I wish I just got that Odu. I just got it. It'll come to me in a minute. So he consulted E5 to know how he wouldn't lose his wealth. I literally just got this Odu the other day, and it's going to bug me. And he said, E5 says, you got to give all these things plus this hat so that you don't give away your crown. The king is like, what? I'll give my crown away for? I'm not doing it. So guess what? Doesn't do it. So this one particular evening, hears a noise, ends up following something out into the wilderness. Right? He's in the shower, hears a noise, sees something, goes following out into the wilderness. Now he just outside in his wrapper. You just got that out the shower. Don't nobody where you at. He ends up walking around looking homeless. And so he's trying to figure out, he gets lost, how to get his way back. And he has to buy directions. You know what he does? He has to give away his crown to buy his directions. While that's happening behind the scenes, Queen and everybody's like, yo, King at? Where did the king go? So they realize he didn't do his elbow. So they do it. And as they're doing it, that is when he runs into Eshu. That is who he ends up giving his crown to. Giving his crown to Eshu, and then finds his way back to his home. Nobody's punishing him. Ifa Tud, do this so you don't give away your crown. And he didn't listen. He didn't listen. But that's okay. All was not lost because the apple was then given and all things were righted. All things were righted. You could no one wants you to meet hardship. There isn't a divine energy that wants to see you impoverished, that wants to see you sick, that wants to see you sad, that wants to see you hurt. They don't want that. They do not want that. Olodumare does not want that. If you are going to come and leave the Abrahamic religions, whichever one it is, or any other one that makes you feel like the divine energies are going to harm, hurt, or punish you. Yeah, Ajogu might, but your spiritual court's not them. You know, hate that's people in your life might, but your spiritual court is not them. When you recognize that, the thing I said in my last class with my students was, a lot of times people talk about deconstruction, but you don't remind you that now you have to rebuild. You're going to deconstruct all these things and break all of these things down. Then what do? The Tower card in tarot is not simply a card about the destruction of the tower. The message in the card is when you allow that destruction to happen, you now can build on a stronger foundation. It is not simply a card of destruction. It's about destruction that leads to a rebuilding process. And you see that in the star behind it, where they are in this process of rebuilding anew, bringing balance to their spiritual and practical life so they can build anew. It's not simply about the destruction. So you can't lean and just do all this deconstruction work and not think that somewhere now you have to rebuild. You have to reestablish what that relationship with the Most High looks like. You have to reestablish what that relationship with yourself looks like, what your relationship with religion looks like. Because for most people, if you say religion, the first thing you think of is Christianity, Islam, Judaism. And so what you hear people say is, I'm leaving organized religion. Isheshe is not disorganized. Voodoo is not disorganized. None of these other religious systems, because that's what they are disorganized. So the idea that you're leaving organized religion, stop saying that, because you're not going to something disorganized. To say you're leaving organized would indicate that you went to something disorganized. You're not. You're not. What you are leaving is dogma. That's the more appropriate thing to say. I am not dogmatic, I am traditional. Because if it sounds like dogma, it is not tradition. Dogma leaves no room for growth, evolution, or change. It is rigid, it is fixed, it is what it is. That is what dogma is. When you look at tradition, tradition is typically, by definition, you could look it up, it's in the dictionary, oral. Yes, we now have some things that are written down because Ogun removes obstacles in general. And Ogun understands that we need here in the diaspora access to this information because we are aligned to this practice. And the only way to do that is for someone to have written some stuff down so we can read it. So, but tradition is oral. And if you know anything, most of us as children played the telephone game. And when you pass something down verbally, even among 10 people in the same room, the message will shift. It'll evolve, it'll change. And by the time it gets to the last person, it may sound like something completely different. Tradition understands this. Tradition is fully aware. If these religions were not traditional, they would not have lived beyond the slave trade. They would have died. If they were dogmatic, they would have ended with the slave trade because there's no room for evolution. There's no room for growth. There'll be no room. Well, like, we don't have this, we can't do anything. We don't have this leaf, guess we can't do anything. We don't have this nut, guess we can't do anything. They found a way to allow for these things to grow, expand, and birth something new. If it sounds dogmatic, there is not anything African that is dogmatic. It's all tradition. It's all tradition. And so when you are doing your deconstruction work, you have to reconstruct what religion looks like for you, what your relationship with God looks like for you. You have to rebuild that. You have to allow yourself to rebuild that and come to a better understanding. Some days I'm sitting and God's still he. Some days I'm sitting, God she. Because, Olodumare is owner of the womb of creation. And I don't know, a lot of, cis dudes with a womb, maybe some trans ones, but, otherwise, womb's going to be mama. So, yeah, there's that. You got to rebuild what that looks like. Is God judging me? Or God sees what's going on and it's just like, I wish you'd go left. I see you still trying to, turn right, but I really wish you'd go left because left will be better. Left will be so much better. Better. You're still, okay, all right. I still love you though. I still got your back. But I really wish you would have turned left. God dang, I didn't want to have to go this way. But God already knew the potential that you were going to choose it. And that's the part where you have to realize you can't pull a surprise on God. So God already knew the possibility that you were going to make that choice. Why would God be mad at you? Why would God be judging you? And if God's not judging you from, picking door number 2, why are you judging yourself? Why are you judging yourself? We have to rebuild and restructure our relationship with the divine. And that takes work. That takes time and it takes work. It's not an overnight thing. There's a lot of limiting beliefs we grow up with that we have to recognize as limiting beliefs and figure out how we're going to restructure those beliefs to be more in alignment with that which we want, need, and desire to have a good life. Because that's all our spiritual team wants for us, is for us to have a good life. Even if, in our prenatal choices, we chose some BS. Hey, there's an Odu that says, what is Orumina? Orumina knows Ebo. That is what Orumina knows. Orumina knows Ebo. And in giving your Ebo, there is not much you can't change. Yeah, there are some things that are going to be divine intervention. Okay, cool. But the rest of that stuff, unless it's the day that you're born and the day that you're meant to leave this world, everything is up for review. Everything is fluid. Everything is in flux. So what are you going to co-create? What are you going to do? How are you going to rebuild and reconstruct so that you are leaning into your good life? So get off the struggle list. Align with your ease, calling your blessings, calling your good fortune. Say, hey, thank you for ensuring that let everyone in the world come to support me through my difficulties. Let people come and want to purchase the works of my service, my goods and services, and that I always have money to pay my debts, and that I got good credit. Let me always be fertile. Let me never be barren. Let me always have good health. Let me sit quietly while everybody else is going through, have colds and stuff. Let me sit quietly in an epidemic and always be healthy. Whatever those things, call them forward for yourself. Speak them out loud. Out loud. Heavy on the out loud. Speak them out loud. Let Oya's wind carry them to Orun so that they can be taken and heard And so that the doors can be open for those blessings to be received. Get them out of your body. When they remain in here, Alafia, when they remain in here and you don't utter them out loud, they're still in the ethers. They're still in the astral realm. They're still in the feminine. And you're trying to get a blessing out in your physical reality. You need it in its physical form. So you need to do something with it aligned to masculine energy. That's just coming now. Breath, air, well, yeah, it's feminine. Verbal communication is masculine. When you speak it out loud or write it on paper, but heavy on the speak it out loud, then action is happening. You are taking an action by speaking it out loud. This is the first step to getting it out in your physical reality. You got to speak it out loud. Anybody else got to hear you? Long as you hear you. So speak it out loud. Then it goes back to the feminine, back to the spiritual realm, where then they can then open the door. So it comes back to you in the physical realm, but as the physical manifestation of the prayer. Wow, that's great. I hope I remember that for later. That was good. I really hope I remember that for later. I hope I got at least one godchild in here. I hope they write that down because that was good. And I'm not going to remember it. I'm not going to remember that. The feminine has the impulse, the idea, the thought, the inspiration. I want this thing. Masculine, I'm going to take an action. Invocation, because we don't pray because we ain't begging. Invocation to call this thing from the divine. It goes back to the feminine, back to the womb of creation, so that it can be birthed out into your physical reality. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And then you want to lock it in. Give an elbow so you can lock that joint in. Give an elbow so you can lock it in. And know that your elbow has been received and approved. Know it. And that takes practice, and there are going to be times, me included, where you're like, I know I gave the elbow, but, because reality around you is reality. The world around you is reality. But when you know your elbow is approved, you get someone to talk you off your ledge. If you are still stuck in your spiritual spiral, your earthly spiral, and you cannot lean back into your pot and remember that your elbow was approved, this is where you have community. This is where we practice in community. That's why we practice in community. When you are my godmother's elder would say that when you pray in a group, that is when you change reality. Hello. Now, are you the mothers or the ancestors? Ancestors? Well, greetings. Hi. When you pray in groups, in community, you change your reality. You change your physical reality. This is why I started doing O'Shea live. Not just for myself, but for everyone else. Because also it's a good space for, you don't have to do like a whole misa to experience Orisha. What does it look like? Was it a day of veneration look like for just a regular, I'm sitting around doing veneration? Other than a few thank yous and things like that, it's what veneration. I'm sitting on my couch in the living room. Why? Because it's cold and sitting on the floor is cold. Plus, my back hurt. This is truth. This is reality. I'm sitting on my couch in my living room, giving honor and praise to the Orishas. My shrines are right here in front of me. This is where I needed to be. This is where I felt like I needed to be, so this is where I came. Sometimes I'm in my room. Because why? My whole house is sacred. Whole house is sacred. Sometimes it's early in the morning. Sometimes it's later in the day. And the idea that, oh my God, your ancestors only hear you at 3 o'clock in the morning. What? They can't hear me at 10? Oh, okay. Now, early in the morning is a good time because then you can do other things throughout the day. Yes, that is a logical thing. But the notion that your spiritual court is asleep in the middle of the day and can't hear you is tomfoolery and shenanigans. That is foolishness. They hear you. They hear you. They do. I promise you they do. They hear me. When I was still working corporate, my mornings would be like hosed. And I'd have to take a break at some point and be like, okay. Put it in the chat. I'll be right back. Run to my shrine room and get my prayers on. Because my day ain't gonna be right if I don't do none of it, do it at all. I gotta get them incantations and enchantments going for the day. You think they didn't hear me? They heard me. They heard me. I just didn't do that old dark 30 in the morning. That don't make me less spiritual. That means I live and I work in reality. And they see me living and working in reality. They get it. Stop limiting your court to human ideas. Ain't nobody jealous. They're going to be jealous. What? Shut up. Ain't nobody jealous. If they come off as jealous, that is because you have given them that assignment. How you see yourself and God is completely going to show how your spiritual court engages with you. Some of you feel like it ain't right unless they cussing me out. So that's what they do. Because that's how you want to be talked to. If you want them to talk to you nice, talk to yourself nice, and they'll talk to you nice. They ain't got to cuss at you. Ain't been no day. Not once, not ever, not an ancestor, not an Odisha, not an ancient, not none, ever, not ever. Because I don't talk to myself that way, and I don't want God to talk to me that way, so they don't talk to me that way. Plus, I do a lot of elevation work. They ain't got to communicate that way. They could be stern in other ways. They ain't got to talk to me that way. Some of us are so attached to how we get treated in our human life that we cannot allow our ancestors or anyone else to elevate beyond that. They ain't got to talk to you that way. You want them to, and that's why they do. They give you what you want. You want something different, you'll ask for it. Okay, so yeah, I rambled a lot longer than I planned to. I was like I did, and maybe I was channeling a little bit. Who knows? But it's 11. It's 11:11. Shade. We'll take that. We'll take an 11:11. Like we will take 11:11 as that time that I looked up and I was not looking for it. I looked up like, oh, it's 11:11. We will take that good old Ogun energy. Right thing, right time, right people. And now I can see. I can see clearly now. So now that I'm done rambling, alive, I'm going to do these last minute, because I'm still sitting in the midst of this energy. So we're going to get these last minute blessings in. That means y'all got until I finish these blessings to ask me anything you want to ask me. If you don't get it in, then you let the all hearts and minds is clear. I'm going to do my little update and I'm out. So let all those in the world gather to help me, because I did this one in Europe before I got rambling. Gather to help me through my difficulties to defeat my enemies. Oh no, I didn't finish it. Ki bobo iniya karakiri agbeek brajo ki wong magbe mi nije kegbe mi leka ota. Biko basumo itosi ke bami ye ojo ikofu. If death is coming, help us to avert it. Odunti atibi misino ayeki bami ye ojo. Ikofu ara mi ate owon. Omo mi ti mobi ki amako ni kekere ki amako iko ina ki amako iko oro ki amako ejo ki amako sino omi. Avert death for all my children and avert death for all those I include in my prayers. May they not die young. May they not die in fire. May they not die in tragedy. May they not die in shame. May they not die in water. Ki e fo jure wo mi. Ki omo omo areye le mafi o jure wo mi. I beg you to look upon us with good eyes so that the world will be favorable to us and so that we will be free from illness. Ki e maje ki insansan ki e shekun odi ki inni ota. Let us overcome our enemies. Ki e maje ki awon iawo mi ya gan takutabo ope ki ya agan. Let us be fertile, such as the male and female palm trees are never barren. Ke e bami de ono ofo, ke e bami de ono ofo, ke e bami de ono edu, ke e bami de ono ibi, ke e bami de ono eshu. Close the way to losses to me. Close the way to losses for my children. Close the way to losses for my mate and my family. Close the way of loss litigation for us. Close the way of negativity against it. Close the way of disruption from the spirit of the trickster. Ini indridi joko penile ayeke ma jeki imbak wonku iko oljo luku. Let us sit quietly in the world and let us not die in an epidemic. Ke jeki amo omo ore buru mi pe mo lowo pe mo ni pe mo nolo pe mo bi mo re ati baby. Let the world hear of us that we are rich and that we have honor and that we have prestige and that our children will be good. Let them hear around the world that we are good and blessed people. Ki eso ibidire fumi ni bagbo bobo ojo ayemi ke emire sowo ki eminiku ki ara mi kiole ki imari ayipada di buburu loja ayemi ati baby. Turn evil to good throughout all our days on earth. Let our that we might be rich, that our life may be lengthened, and that our health will always be good, and that turning good to bad may never reach us in all our days on this world. Ki esina anje fumi, ki awon omo areye, wa ma bomi, ra ojati mo ni nita wara wara ibeko oru e bahinda lodo. Open the way to wealth for us, that the world will want the products of our work, and that untimely death will pass us by. Ki da ni di ki e da mini abayamo ti obimo rere ti won yo behin si no aye ati baby. Let us be known as parents who produce good children who will stand behind us, follow our guidance, and bear us at the end of our life. Ki e jeki indi arisina akatogiri Ejo fun onwon ota. Let us be like fire from which people flee, or as the snake that is greatly feared by its enemies. Kieso mi di pupo bunere, kimi roro san owo ori, kimi robo san awi orun, mi ati baby. Let us be blessed for good, that we will always have the money to pay our debts, and may we always do good things in the world. Ki oromo besire ki eje ki oruko mihan sirere ki ipa mileye maparon. Let our name not be spoken of badly in the world. Let our name be famous in the world, and let our lineage flourish in the world. Omi kiba le ki omani pa ki minipa releye ati baby. Let us be as water, just as water never touches the ground and moves without a path. So will we always have a good path in this world. Suppress all our enemies and destroy their power. Let us live long and see our hair turn white. Give us money and all the good things in life. Ashe, 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 ashe. And so it is, for the good of all and the harm of none. So let it be written, so let it be done. Isn't that what Ramsey said? So let it be written, so let it be done. Ashe. So, I think y'all heard me mention it earlier and yesterday. Tomorrow is Oshe Ireni. The diaspora denominations did their feast day for Baba Shango on the 3rd. And so I asked Shango about a feast day. And so we are going to do our feast day for Baba Shango on tomorrow. If you are not in my lineage, or you're not in the lineage of my dearest, then I would encourage you to inbox me if you would like to come and fellowship with us. There is no cost. The only thing it's going to cost you is time, finding some red and white to wear, having an ebo for Baba Shango, and just come to listen and fellowship with us in Shango in some good energy, some good energy. So come and hang out with us. Currently, I have many things on special. My entire shop is 25% off. So Ilekes, Idays, I added waist beads. I've had people asking me if I'm going to do waist beads. So I added waist beads to the shop. So elekes, ides, waist feeds. Yes. So there's like waist feeds that are inspired by Orisha and waist feeds that are imbued. So I added waist feeds. Everything is made to order. There is nothing pre-made. Everything is made to order, which means you're gonna need to let me like there is a process for me to go through to figure out what it's gonna look like because no one's is made the same. I can make 3 different shangos and every strand make them back to back, and every strand is gonna look different. They're all gonna look different. It's gonna be whatever it needs to look like for the person. But I'm getting back into really focusing on doing that and getting some things situated. So I've been catching up some things that vertigo and among other things, and had me like trying to get my health back together. So now that I'm coming out on the other side, I'm back to making elekes and things real heavy. So elekes, I do soaps and oils and things like that. So if you need like a medicine, I do those. Like I said earlier, I do have for service for small business owners to help them use EFI to align. Yes. Okay. So, can you wear elekes if you don't have hand to EFI, no ceremonies or anything like that? Yes. The short answer is absolutely yes. In terms of how you wear them and things of that nature, lineage by lineage, but I could just tell you, like, if you're going to be engaged in some adult activities, whether you have company or they're solo adult activities, take them off. I hope that was clear enough. The way I said, take them off. Take them off. They are painted beads. I probably wouldn't go swimming or anything in them on a regular basis because they're painted. So yeah, the color it's going to fade at some point over time. I don't do certain things like if I'm going to be cooking, I tend to take my days off. I might still have my elekes on because my elekes are almost on like all day. So I may have my elekes still on, but I may take my days off, especially if I'm doing stuff like raw meat and chicken. So a lot of things are, if you're going to be out where there's a lot of people and you're wearing them, then when you come home, I typically like do like just a really light, just not heavy. I don't soak them, but rinse them off with cool water because they've been doing some work. So I want to rinse that energy off. They are sacred implements. They are sacred tools. They have been blessed. And yes, I do charge mine with the new and the full moon or in sunshine. Kind of just depends on who it is and what they want and how I'm flowing at the time. But yeah, I do put mine out to charge. I store mine hung up. Well, my days, I actually have a thing for bracelets that I hang my days on, and my elekes are hung up. They are shrines you wear on your body. So if you think about it in that way, they are little shrines you wear on your body, not them joints you get from the stove. Like they're just nice to look at. Until you get somebody to do something with them, then they might be a shrine on your body. But in terms of that, other than that, no. Because I have a friend of mine I went to school with, and he is very Christian. He is very, very Christian. But you know what? He'll come see me for a reading from time to time. And one of his readings came up that he needed hand of E5. And I knew he wasn't going to do it. So I asked E5 if he needed at least to have an E-day. Would that be enough until he made any decisions? And so he wears an E-day. He has, I made a special E5 E-day. It's not overtly like, so ain't no practitioners going to look at his wrist and think he's, one of us. But E5 knows that he's looked after. And so he has an E-day that I specially made for him to wear. I got a gentleman. He came for a business consultation. So I did divination for his business, and for his business needed an E5 shrine. So he has an E5 shrine for his business. It did come up that now he needs one for himself, but he needed one for his business. What he needed for himself, though, was Oyas Ilekes. Why? because he digs graves. That's what his business is. He's someone he goes and he digs the holes for the plots. And so he wanted to know what he could do to like expand his business. I told him to learn more about the burials of different traditions and what they need. There may be some things he can incorporate in his business from a spiritual perspective for folks of different traditions. But because he works in that field, and Oya is the Orisha that helps the ancestors to move on to the ancestral realm, he needed Oya. And it was real funny because he reached out to me. He said, "Hey, yo, can I get another one? Another what? Ileke? Like another Oya? Yeah. Why? Because good things be happening. Bro, that is not how this works. Oya, you don't need more than one Oya Ilekes. You don't need more than he is so funny. He's like, you don't need more than one Oya Ileke. I said he did get his exactly like pull that up to hit me 2 times. So he has his Oya Ilekes, and I tell him, you wear them when you work because you're in cemeteries. You need to wear them when you work. So he keeps them in his shirt. He wears them when he works, and every month, almost like clockwork. But if he hasn't been, he feels away. He comes to my house and I clean his ori consistently. I hit him up yesterday and told him, I was like, "Hey, yo, you ain't been taking care of your shrine. I know it. So you need to bring your shrine to me so you can get some offerings, and it's probably time for you to get divination done." So I have a service where I do a whole package where I do like an Ori cleanse, Reiki, and divination. So he's going to come get that next week. But I thought it was real funny when he asked for a double Oya. I'm like, what? I mean, you can add an Ide if you want, but I mean, no, he's got it. Oh yeah, I made him a whole set. So no, he has an Ide. I'm like, but you don't need another one, baby. If you want to pick another Orisha, okay, but you don't need a double shadow. You don't need a double shadow. Oh yeah, that was wild to me. But he's not. He comes and he's really cool. Like he'll come and he'll sit and he'll listen, and we'll talk. And then next thing you know, I'll get a cash app just because he got to sit and spend time with me. So he's listening, and he'll come and get his spiritual vitamin, and then. But that's typically how the dudes are. I have womb holders as students. But in terms of men, I have men as clients. They get their readings, they get their head cleansed, they may get alekes, they may get Reiki and things of that nature. Now that I put a small business, I'll probably get that too. But they don't come to just sit and stay put like that. Not like that. I have one, he comes to the Itadogun, but he has an elder, so he doesn't count in that vein. But they don't always come to me. They come to get the medicine of Ifa. And for me, that's what Ilekes are another form of medicine. And you can either get the over-the-counter version. It just makes you feel good to have a symbol. And that's what the ones at the stores are. They are a symbol. They are mass-produced. They are a symbol. Or you get someone to make you some. And then you have not simply just this symbol, but like there's some actual additional medicine that has been applied. So for me, like all of mine get like prayers of protection and prosperity and they get all the usuals, like protection, prosperity, protection when you're leaving the house. They get all the usuals. And then, depending on who it is, I might feel called to do something else. Like I made some for somebody and I felt called to add courage. I don't know why. I just knew I needed to add courage to the mix of prayers that they got. So between that and then all the Oriki they get from the Orisha, and then they sit with the shrines. So if it's an Orisha that I have, whether I have them directly or I have their shrine, they sit with the shrine. They spend some time with the shrine because I want to make sure they feel good. Gotta make them feel good when you get them. I want them to feel good when you get them. And I want them to feel like they're yours, not like you picked one out and everybody's got, you know how we are. You don't want to go out to the club and you see somebody with your same outfit on. So you going home. You finna go to the house. You finna go to the house. So yeah, hope that helped Logan. So yeah, and Logan, if you want some, buy it from Baba. If you want some, buy it from Baba. Buy it from Baba. Like, hold on, this E Day, even though mine popped, so I had to restring it. But he made me this. He made this E Day for me. And so I could easily make you something. And I've made something for he does it. Tell this so and you tell him I told you to do this. Cause like so what you do is you reach out to him and you say, I want to buy some Elekes from you. Now if he sends you back to me, cool. But I'm gonna send you to him first, because that's go to him and say, I want to buy some Elekes from you. How much they cost? And see what he says. Go to him first. Say, I want to buy some Elekes from you. How much do they cost? And you make sure you say that last part too. How much do they cost? Because I know him. Say, how much do they cost, Baba? And he probably won't be able to do them until he gets back. And he gonna have a little extra stay. He gonna have a little extra razzle dazzle. That's probably a good thing. But his craftsmanship, he like, if you can get him to make you some, get him to make you some. But if he says he doesn't have time, he can't do it, then you want to come to me, cool. But yeah, go to him first. Go to goodness. That's your Baba, and that's my boy. Go ask him first. And then if he says to come to me, then you come to me. Now, if you want waist beads, he's probably definitely going to send you to me, because the one of your god siblings that needed waist beads, I made her waist beads. But if you need Elekes or Ide, yeah, go hit him up. Go. And yeah, hit him up. I won't even say anything. I'm waiting to see what he says. But hit him up and say, hey, I want some. Would you make me some Elekes? And just tell him who you want and ask him how much it's going to cost. Cool beans. Anybody else got anything for me? I spent the whole morning with y'all. I probably needed this too. I needed this. This is medicine for me. I love this time. I ran from being Anifa, and so now that I'm in it, then I run from things that sound like Christianity. Like, this is your ministry. What? Why you gotta say that? Is there another word that we can use? But it is. This is my ministry. That's why I went ahead and got ordained. So now I'm not just initiated, I'm also ordained. This is my ministry. This right here, this is my ministry. This is where I'm in my zone. I enjoy this. I hope the folks, y'all spend enough time with me here for hours, so hopefully y'all enjoy it too. But I enjoy this. I enjoy this, teaching and talking about Ifa. No, it's not crazy. And it's easy. If you inbox me, I'll tell you what I did, because it's easy and it don't take a day. I promise you, it didn't take a day. It didn't take an hour. It didn't take an hour. But what it does for us is it helps to, especially if I tell somebody I'm an Iyanifa and they don't practice E5, they don't know what that means. If I say to someone, I am a high priestess in an African spiritual system, but if I tell them I'm an ordained minister, well, then that opens some extra doors. That opens some extra doors that I might not be able to get into. That opens some extra doors. Get some extra perks and things of that nature. So it's about, and the way that I did it was not, you didn't have to agree to be Christian or anything like that. It's not like that either. So being ordained just puts you in a position to use language that others understand, and then opens up ways for you to expand your work. So I have never asked about whether I have literally Mambo as a backstory for me, but I am from a genetic perspective, 31% Nigerian, 19% Mali, 11% Congo. Loa are present. And every once in a while, even in class, they've showed up. So they're around, they're present, and they are part of my spiritual court. And whether or not that ends up being a pathway I take later on, I don't know. But in terms of like where you're called, your blood is going to call you to a multiple, but then there'll be the things that you're supposed to have a more direct. I need to have a more direct relationship with Isheshe. And genetically, for me, that makes sense. So yeah, don't ignore, and like they're not gonna be mad. Like they're not like they're not beefing. They're not gonna be they're not squaring up or anything. I haven't done enough research on Loa to know how to connect to the ones that are calling for me. So I have to find somebody that I trust that can help me to understand. Agbo ato oshori iwori wofun, alafia saison. I haven't had someone that I trust to come to me, because there is one Loa very specifically that more than one person has, well, there's two that more than one person has seen walking with me, but because I haven't studied that for tradition close enough, I don't feel like I'm in a position to where I can directly say anything to them the way I would want to. So I have to find someone that, knows that I trust to guide me in that way. Do I feel like I'm going to initiate that one? I don't think so. I feel like it's going to be just more, I can work with more of my spiritual court. Same like with earlier. Are you initiated in voodoo? Like we might need to talk. We might need to talk. We might need to see how we can help each other. We might be able to help each other. We might be able to help each other. There might be some conversation we can have to support each other. And look, Baba would love this, because I'm gonna leave y'all with this. He said if the pastor, the rabbi, and I always forget what they're called in Islam, but if they can all go into the bar and have a drink, why can't the Ianifa, the Santero, the Mambo, the Tata, why can't we all go and have a drink? I don't drink. I have Sprite. But, you get the point. We're all practicing African spiritual systems that are cousins. They're cousins. They fam. Like, what is that? What is the thing? Like, what do they be saying in the clear? We all fam. That's how they feel. And when you realize that all of them are, whether it Olodumare or any other expression, that we're all family, and we should be able to talk. Just because you do this way, we still at the same goal. We still have the same goals. We still are all trying to make this life as good as possible. We, especially as elders in African spiritual systems living in the African American diaspora, want our Black African American brothers and sisters to have the best life possible, whether they choose to come this way or not. But the ones that do, we want to show them that our ancestors always knew God. Our ancestors were always connected to the Most High. Their ancestors were always connected to the divine. The verbiage they use simply don't sound like everybody else. That's it. They use different verbiage. The wind is blowing outside. The wind was doing the wind thing yesterday. The wind was winding. It was giving March coming in it like a lion wind yesterday. I looked outside. Well, hello, Oya. Greetings and salutations. Hey. The air in our lungs. Oya. They understood, just like in Kemetic tradition, there is not more than one God. And understanding that we don't see they are deities. They are not gods and goddesses. Verbiage. They're not gods and goddesses. They are deities. Yes. Different expressions of the same energies. Different expressions. They are nuanced through culture. They are nuanced through tradition. And when the more of us are able to sit at the table and talk and have conversation, a friend of mine had a vision and they were talking about religion. And the thing that he got in the vision was that, and I'm confident he was talking to Odu. I'm like hella confident. I'm like, he was at the womb of creation when he described the dream to me. And he said, he asked, what was the one thing that she wished we understood? And she said, we're all saying the same thing in a different language. It's the separation. That's the problem. It's the separation. And when we recognize that we're all saying the same thing in a different language and can respect that. We can respect that. I can have I am Isheshe, but I'm a strong person. My godchildren will tell you, I am not Nigeria Isheshe. This is Isheshe in Black America. There are going to be things that look different. Why? Because as a Black woman in America, in the States, it's going to look different. It ain't going to look the same. But you know what's still true? If you put me in a room, but a bunch of Omoshango, I bet you we found each other. It don't matter how we were initiated. Put some respect on each other's names. Come on, sir. Come on. If we all in the same room together and there's a bunch of Omoshango, I bet you we gravitate towards each other. You know how I know? Because there's always at least one in my lives. There's at least one Shango. A Yamoja will pop through. Now that I've fully initiated some of the other ones, like so Oguns pop in. Good day to you. So the issues come through. Now that I've initiated some of those other Orisha, they all come through. But we didn't initiate the same way. We didn't initiate with the same elder. We didn't use the same offerings. Now I'm wearing coral. I'm wearing coral today. I won't have on red till tomorrow. I have on red tomorrow, but today I'm wearing coral. I have on red tomorrow. But they no one's like, is it effective? You did XYZ 1, 2, 3. I did ABC 4, 5, 6. Was it effective? Did it work? And won't know they ain't a person alive that's gonna come sit in my presence and not be like, oh, you was a child of Shango. You was definitely one of Shango's kids. Mm-hmm. I look like one of Yemoja's kids. Like visually, stereotypically built. I'm stereotypically built like a child of Yemoja. That's because I'm a Cancer rising. I'm like, yeah, I'm one of her kids. I'm one of her kids. But truthfully, I'm one of all of the Orisha's kids. You'll be able to see all of them. When I'm awkward in social situations, there is Ogun. There is Ogun. Because in the midst of that awkwardness, you know what I'm going to do? Whatever your technology is, I'm going to fix it. I will fix the technology. I'm going to fix it. I'm wordy. Like, understanding that we can all exist in our traditions and see the truth is the love. The truth is the alignment to our good condition. That's the truth. The truth is the love and the alignment to our good condition. The truth is us taking care of ourselves, then taking care of our family, then taking care of nature. It vibrates outwards like a pebble in the stone in a root. We can all do this together. We really can. We just don't have to all be doing the same way. I would love to see all that. Real talk, I have a dream of some of my really, really Christian friends coming to one of my Oshes. Like really just coming and hanging out and like And my family's not Christian, but the coolest thing has been my mother and my sister coming to do veneration with me. That's been that's been a really cool thing for them to be willing to sit and do veneration. They sent me, they Zelled me because I was giving offerings. So they Zelled me as an energy exchange as thank you for the offerings. My parents, my mama don't practice Ifa. Neither does my sister. Though my sister said she want to read a book. Come on, girl. Come on, come on, sis. Thanksgiving, it is me, the Ianifa, my uncle who just received a legua in Santeria, and my cousin who's coming back to Ifa, and my auntie who just received Obaloi in Santeria, all standing there giving offering to our ancestors on Thanksgiving. All of us, and being the elder in the mix, so allowing me to lead. This is my uncle, my aunt, from the age perspective, they are my elder, letting me be the Ianifa in that moment and sing over the blessings and give the offerings and have my uncles be there. And this is my favorite uncle. Don't tell nobody else. That's my favorite uncle. We are only 8 years apart. He might as well just be like a big brother. He's my favorite uncle. He's been the one, because age-wise, he's the one I'm closest to. Both of us in an Orisha tradition, 2 different Orisha traditions, talking to each other in synchronicities and experiences and how the Orisha show up. All of these things. And when I'm done, when I was a little kid, my uncle taught my sisters and I how to sing Silent Night as a round. And because, even though as Israelites, there are Christmas songs that sometimes are a bop. I like Silent Night. When I was done doing Oriki that day, he was like, "You sound so beautiful." The little kid in me, she was so geeked. She is so geeked. Like, so excited to be able to share Orisha and Ifa with my uncle. Like, that's just been, and to have another one of my uncles who, let's just say some things going on, and be able to take him and look him in the eye, because he knows what his brother does, and to an extent. I said, you know what he be doing, on his private time? He's like, yeah. I said, I decided to go a step further and become a high priestess in the tradition. And if you trust me, I'm your niece. I'll never harm you. I can help you. I'm not trying to recruit you. Just let me use what I know to help you. And for him to say, okay, see, it's that right there. That right there. I'm not recruiting you. I'm not knocking on your door. Hi, have you heard about, have you been introduced to Eshu? I'm not, have you been introduced to the man at the crossroads, Eshu Odada? I'm not doing that. That's not what this is. But there might be something. And for us in the diaspora, there is medicine that our ancestors held. There is wisdom that our ancestors held that was stolen from us. And us particularly in the States. Us particularly in the States, it was a ruthless separation from our ancestors that we are still trying to reclaim, that we're still trying to get back. Just sit with us and listen. Just sit and listen. And you will find that God is still with us. We may not be using the same book. We do incantations and invocations, and you pray. Okay. Either way, we're trying to bring about positive change, bring about our good condition. What I see, I'm going to put that on my door. The next time one of them come knock on my door and ask me, have you heard about the kingdom of God? Have you heard about the word of Olodumare? to the divinity of Ifa and Orunmila and the holy Odu. Come here, I have an Odu for you. Come sit and tight. We will spray OT on the shrines and we will talk about Ifa. Come in, come in, come in. Come join us. And being able to do that, I would love to see a room full of us. Like, as much as I say I don't like public speaking, Dania did not like public speaking. Owinni, it's like, let's go. Because I keep seeing it like this room full of people, and it's an Onisha church service. Like, honestly, it's the same thing I do on live, but it's in a room full of people. Like, I'm not sitting in my house by myself or with the kids. It's a room full of people coming to hear what Ifa has to say, coming to give offering, coming to give blessings. I can see Obi being passed around. Everybody's getting the Obi being passed around. That would be dope, man. That would be so cool. And everybody just like being able to know that God was in the room with them in that moment, that their ancestors were in the room with them in that moment. I listen and I see so many people grieving their ancestors, and I get it. I miss my grandmother and my grandfather. I miss my mom. I miss sis, but I miss my son. I didn't get to see him grow up. I didn't get to see him run around with his brothers. And it is honestly ancestor veneration that saved me. It is honestly ancestor veneration that saved me, that allowed for me to heal the grief and the sadness of losing your child, having to hold your child until they transition. Hi, sweet pea. It is ancestor veneration. And every time I see one of my friends grieving in like full, they're still in mourning. And I just want to take them and like, it's one of those moments where you have to fight the urge to help them because they have to come to us. They have to come to us. That's why y'all should know when they come in your inbox, they're not for you. You should seek them out, root them out. If you're not on a mailing list, like if you're on my mailing list, guess what? You're going to get an email. Why? Because you're on my mailing list. That's like, but I'm not sliding randomly in your DM like, hey, no. Even if I want to, because there are some people that I follow. I told a couple of them because I felt we interacted enough to where I felt like it was cool. There's some people I follow. I've absolutely had dreams about them. Yeah, I'm not inboxing you. Sorry, I'm not unless I divine on it and it's something super urgent. I'm not inboxing you. It's got to be something real urgent. Like, look, you don't know me and you just take this with a grain of salt. I don't want your money or anything, but FYI. All right, bye. And it's going to be just like that. Otherwise, I'm not. So when I see those people on especially it's heavy on my Facebook, and it's like, I just want to, especially because I'm a death doula, and I understand that some of their grief is going to hold that loved one here. They're going to cause that loved one to be an earthbound spirit if they don't let them go. That's the other reason why I be wanting to reach out, because I want them to let their ancestor go home. I want them to let them go home. And I only know that this is so because I got a few folks that we did ancestor homework, and they got a lot of earthbound ancestors. They got a lot of earthbound ancestors that have not that they passed on, but they didn't cross over. And when I look and see some of these posts where it's like, don't mess with me because my ancestors don't play about me. I mean, isn't that everybody though? Isn't that everybody? So you weaponizing your ancestors. And then you're doing it outwardly. That's the thing. Like, this shows me that you ain't got no elder. Because if you did, you don't actually have to say that out loud. You don't. You don't. You're locking them down for one when you do so. You're turning them into a tool, and that is not what they are. When you use them as a tool, they're not in alignment. Stop using them as a tool. That's not what they are. They are your family. They are your lineage. In most cases, your blood. Not all, but in most cases, they're your blood. They're not their friends. They're loved ones. Why would you minimize them to a tool that you can use to talk trash to somebody? That is not helping them to elevate. That is going to keep them from elevating. So a lot of them I just want to reach out to. I just want to come here. Let me help you. Let me help you. But I can't. I am not meant to be, as Owinni for my job is not to be Captain Sable. The Aquarius in me wants to be Captain Sable. The Cancer rising wants to be Captain Sable. Does. But my Capricorn 7th house says no. And E5 does too. Like, let them come to you. If they're meant to get that medicine, they will come and receive it. So there's that. All right, now I really am going to go. Because guess who hasn't eaten? Who buying me lunch? I done spent all this time with them. Somebody send me to McDonald's. I don't want McDonald's. I won't. Thankfully, I do not. I look. Y'all think I'm a crybaby now? Like, imagine a cancer stellium? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. A Cancer rising with an Aries moon is enough. I honestly, I want something that's real food and not fast food. So I can make it do what it do with like 10, 15 bucks, honestly. 10, 15 bucks. I can make that do what it do. I want some real food today. Me and my motion sickness have not allowed me to enjoy food like I want to. And yeah, I'm in a perpetual state of nausea every time I move around. I want real food today. I want some steak. I want a burger. That's what you know what I really want is a burger. A burger would be busted. A burger with some pepper jack cheese. Yes. Thank you, darling. Y'all have a good day too. You have a very, very, very good day. Hey, you like you. You should text me if you're not if you're working from home and you got free time, text me. Because I gotta leave the house and I got a couple of offerings I still need to go share some food with folks. Okay. Cool, Frankie Beans. Y'all have a beautiful rest of the day. Thank y'all for spending time with me today. This was so beautiful, beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl. You as well. Have a good day. Have a good day. Oh, double. I just want you to know that you are really special. No, extreme.